thank you so much for coming, everybody. I'm Robin Jones. I'm here on behalf of the PACE Parent Group. We're a volunteer group of parents who support the PACE program at Long Beach Poly. And
this is a duet. Hi there, my name is Jenny Koo. I am on the CIC Booster Board, and I'm also the proud parent of a Long Beach Poly Jackrabbit Junior. But I also have an 8th grader, so I am in the same seat, literally, as you all are here in the audience. And I remember very well what it was like when Sam was in 8th grade and making this hard choice. So thank you so much for coming, and we look forward to a great night of conversation and questions.
Okay. I forgot to mention that my kid is also in PACE at Poly. She's an 11th grader as well. Okay, so a couple things I wanted to mention. We have about 1 million flyers on the back table back there. If you didn't get to see them when you came in, make sure to pick them up. Everything from, just the course, the course is available to PACE and CIC, a big list of all the clubs and sports that are available at Poly, and even a kind of what we call a program with bios of most of the folks who you see up here today. We have a couple of corrections. Emiliano is a 12th grader rather than an 11th grader. Declan, raise your hand. Declan is here, 11th grader in CIC, not on the program, but I'm sure you'll learn more about Declan. And Spencer, 12th grader in PACE. Also not on the program, but again, you'll learn much more about both of them as we move along. Okay, also cookies and hot chocolate and tea on the back. Please feel free to get up at any time and move around, grab a snack. Restrooms are through these doors and to the right. Okay. Okay. So what we're going to do here today, folks, is we're going to start with a panel discussion where we're going to run through a few Q&As with the students, and then we're going to open it up to your questions. The way we would love to do this is by giving you index cards. Forgot the word for a second. If you don't have a pen, we have a few there. Go ahead and write your question on the card, and then we'll just pose it to the whole panel. If there's somebody in specific... Okay, I'm just going to... There you go.
Hi everyone, my name is Azaria. I'm a senior, I'm in CIC, and I went to Hughes Middle School.
Hello everybody, I'm Isabella. I'm a junior in PACE, and I went to Hughes Middle School.
Hi, I'm Sai. I'm a junior in PACE, and I went to Rogers Middle School.
Hi, I'm Declan. I am a junior in CIC, and I also went to Rogers.
Hi, I'm Sam. I'm a junior in the CIC program, and I'm the 3rd person that went to Rogers.
Hi, I'm Jackson Turnell. I'm a sophomore in PACE, and I went to Hughes.
I'm Frank. I'm a PACE junior, and I went to IVA.
My name is Sarah. I'm a junior in CIC, and I went to Rogers.
Hi, I'm Sydney. I'm a 12th grader in PACE, and I went to Stanford.
Hi, I'm Spencer. I'm a 12th grader in PACE, and I went to IVA.
Good evening. I'm Emiliano. I went to Hughes, and I'm a senior in CIC.
Okay, this is going to take a little... Thank you. Okay, yeah, a little bit of choreography here. Okay, so the first question I want to pose to Sai and Declan, and I'm going to ask the two of you to talk about the differences between the two programs, between PACE and CIC. Anybody else who wants to chime in too, go ahead.
Okay, so the most obvious difference, I think, right off the bat is the fact that the GPA requirements for programs are different. PACE requires a 3.7 GPA to get in, whereas CIC, you only need a 3.3. So as you can assume, PACE is a bit more academically rigorous than CIC. The classes you take are a little more challenging, you have a little bit more of a homework load. But overall, the programs are still both fantastic and both very similar. I'd say another difference that possibly the most notable difference is I think in PACE, or in CIC rather, you have more flexibility to kind of choose the classes you take, whereas in PACE, they kind of set the path for you. They make sure that you take good classes with great teachers that'll look impressive to colleges. CIC, you kind of can pick and choose a little bit more. Should I take, honors chemistry or regular chemistry? Should I take this AP class or this AP class? You have a little bit more flexibility.
I think first off, I should say I'm in CIC. A lot of my friends are in PACE. Like a lot of the people I know and around are in PACE, so I'm very familiar with both programs. And I think the big difference is really flexibility. PACE, you're kind of set into that hardcore academic life. But CIC, you kind of have more of a flexibility if you don't really know what you want to do. And you can start off not being in the most rigorous classes, and then by the time you get to your junior year, you can be in all AP, all honors classes, or you can have no AP, no honors classes, and focus on other things. It really lets you kind of do whatever you want. But other than that, I think you got most of it.
Okay, the next question is, why did you choose PACE or CIC? I'm gonna start here, and if you guys could just kind of alternate, maybe? Okay, yeah.
I chose CIC because I knew there would be classes that challenged me academically, but I knew that there would also be time for me to have free time for other activities outside of school and inside of school. I knew that it would challenge me but not be too challenging to where I wouldn't have any time for anything else but school. So that's why I chose CIC.
So I chose CIC simply because I didn't really have the grades to get into PACE. But looking back, it was really a great choice because going into high school, I wasn't ready for what PACE would have been. And there are some people that were, but I just wasn't. And as I went through high school, I kind of realized that I became more ready for the academic focus that PACE had. And now I'm taking 3 of the classes that he's taken in PACE. So I've kind of chosen the more academically life through CIC.
I chose PACE because I wanted to more academically challenge myself, because in middle school I had the grades and I felt I already knew a lot of people that had already been in the program, and I heard a lot of success of the program through family, friends and whatnot. And I thought it'd be right, and freshman year it wasn't even that bad. I feel they actually eased you into it pretty well, more than I was expected. Thanks, Mr. Montu. But yeah, I just wanted to challenge myself, and I think it's going pretty well so far, and I'm glad I chose this program.
I chose PACE because of the statistics on how many kids they send to colleges and what those colleges are. I remember being at, I don't remember what the specific event was, but there were multiple schools all at one school giving different presentations, and you went around, and Milliken and Wilson were all okay. And then when it got to the PACE presentation and they brought up so many statistics on the kids, what colleges those kids are getting into, that was really the deal breaker for me.
I chose CIC because I knew that a big focus I wanted to have in high school was on music and also in sports. So I thought that if I could choose my schedule, I could be more flexible and kind of spend a lot of my time on those things that I enjoy. And I also wasn't quite sure of the direction I wanted to take, so I thought if I could have less of a rigorous schedule and take more AP classes in fields that I'm interested in, then I could kind of get a broader scope of what I would want to do and pursue in college.
Okay, going into high school, I was a competitive rower, and that's all I did. All I did was school and crew. So I was well, I don't need flexibility to do anything else. I'll just go to school and do my sport and be fine with that. So that's what I did. So that's why I chose PACE.
I chose PACE because I really just wanted to challenge myself to get through as many classes as I could. I wasn't really thinking about college too much, but I knew that I really wanted to be prepared for college, and I think PACE is doing a good job of that.
I chose CIC because I had older friends, and they would say that PACE is good, but they kind of just you're already pushed into the sea. While in CIC, you kind of just seam your way in, and you work your way up. And I think they're both they both challenge you, but like they said, CIC offers more flexibility than what PACE does.
what has been the best thing about PACE or CIC, the program specifically, not Poly High, but the program specifically? Let me start with you.
For me, CIC has been like the teachers have been like actually like really impactful to like say like, oh, okay, you should apply to this scholarship, you should take these classes. Like even like prior teachers, like say like as a senior, even like teachers from grades before, like they gave me advice, and like I was able to like, it's more of like you're able to interact with those, even with the past teachers, like on what you should do for your future.
I think that the teachers, for PACE specifically, but probably also CIC, are just very helpful in general. Like you can go to them and talk about any problems that you have or any questions that you have about their class. And I think that's really helpful.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. The teachers are super supportive and also like flexible when you have things going on in your life. And I think that's really important, especially because the expectations of PACE are super high to begin with. So yeah, that's been the best part of PACE.
I would agree. I would say the best part of CIC is definitely the teachers, and you can tell they really love what they're doing and that their main goal is to help you succeed.
Yeah, the teachers are definitely the best part of PACE. I think they're all phenomenal and really love what they do, and it really shows when they're teaching.
The teachers are just so available. They're very available. Like you can go to, when they're at school, you can go to them anytime, and they're not like off-putting. They're not like being selfish. They're always ready to help when you need, and I just love their patience.
To avoid sounding repetitive, I'm also going to add friends and resources available to you. They both allow you to not only push yourself to be the best that you can be, but teachers, friends, staff, really, they want to see you succeed as much as you want to succeed.
I think, going off what Sam said, the favorite part of CIC is really kind of how like the teachers in the community give you a launching pad to go where you want to go with your life. It's really cool.
Yeah, I agree. I think the community, especially in PACE and CIC, are really just amazing. In fact, even though the program, can be challenging at times, I feel like you have so many people that are going through the challenge with you. You never really feel like you're alone anytime you're struggling.
I'd say teachers as well. Sorry, we keep repeating that, but it's true. Also, the people you meet, it's very easy to make friends in PACE, and I'm sure that's the same thing for CIC. So honestly, just like it's very supportive, and that's probably one of the greatest things.
I agree with what everyone said. I also would like to add how the classroom feels like more of a second family, that you can come to outside of home, and it's really warm and welcoming because of the teachers and everyone around you.
Questions that may be floating around in some parents' minds about what is the difference between PACE, CIC, WAVE, and all of the other programs that are available. PACE and CIC are both magnet programs, and being so, there are requirements to be accepted into both programs, and those requirements actually are available on the sheets in the back table. I think one thing that I would like as a parent, I would love to share is the fact that both programs are really designed to bring out the best in the students. And each program is designed to sort of meet where the students are in their academic journey and endeavor in life. And I think one thing that all of our students did a great job of clarifying is they maturely had some clarity on what kind of rigor or boundaries they wanted to strive towards or work within. So I appreciate that. But moving on, I know that there are some questions about Poly in general in terms of its location, its safety, and that is a real concern, because as parents, we send our kids off to 6 hours of school, right? And sometimes we go, have a great day, but we all want to know that they're safe. So could you guys talk about, have you ever felt that the location was an issue for you, or did you ever feel unsafe? And how about if we ask some of the ladies on the panel?
I don't know. I feel pretty safe. I feel like if I felt that unsafe, I wouldn't have gone. So I guess, I feel like if I had an issue, I have a lot of people I could go to. I have friends, I have teachers, staff, family, all that. So like, I don't know, I think the concern is there, but there's not really any fear, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I personally never felt unsafe. I feel like you can tell the staff does everything they can to make sure that you feel safe there, and they take all of the measures that they can, and yeah, it's never been a problem for me.
Yeah, I've never not felt safe at Poly. Again, there's a lot of resources if you need help, like the Care Center and the Care Center Annex, which are like mental health, if you're having any struggles. So yeah, there's a lot of good resources for you out there.
Yeah, elaborating on what everyone said, there's never been a moment where I felt unsafe at Paul. I feel like stereotype about the area is really over-exaggerated, but moreover, like everyone said, there's a ton of resources, not only friends and teachers, but the Care Center, counselors who are really out there to make sure that you succeed and that you're at your best.
Yeah, like Sam said, I think the staff at Poly knows that they have the reputation of being an unsafe school, I think they make it a priority to make sure that kids are safe when they're on campus.
I do run cross country and track, so I've been outside of campus after school, and I've stayed for clubs and stuff. I'd say later after school or even book club. So I do say that Poly is a great area to be around. It's not unsafe. I know there's like all those, like I said, stereotypes and stuff, but honestly the community there is amazing. So there's nothing I've been worried about.
Again, I agree with what everyone else said. I've never really felt super unsafe on campus, outside of campus, like walking to campus. It's always been pretty safe, yeah.
Okay, thanks you guys. Okay, let's shift gears a little bit. Can everybody tell me about your favorite class? What's your favorite class that you've taken so far? And just a sentence or two about why that class was your favorite.
I have two favorite classes. One of them is English and the other is Japanese. I love English because I really like writing and like being able to express myself through like poetry or like, I also like reading too on my free time, so that's why I really like English. And also I like Japanese because it makes me feel smart. It's really fun to learn a new language. It's not as hard as it may sound. It's really cool, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I have two favorite classes. So I also really like English and literature because our teachers do a great job of including like all sorts of sources. So it's really nice to read all that stuff and, analyze it. I also really like science. So AP Environmental Science, we took that 9th grade, and that has to be one of my favorite classes.
Yeah, I'd say my favorite class is probably Japanese as well. I think partly it's just because I have an amazing teacher, and I think that it's so cool to just learn about a culture that I just really don't know or didn't know much about going into high school. And I also love English as well because I like to read and write.
I was gonna say Japanese. I'm gonna refrain from saying theater, and I'm gonna refrain from saying Japanese. So other than that, my favorite class would probably be chemistry, just because it's a hard subject material, and I just think the teacher is really nice, is really good at working with you, and like the class just feels very communicative, like everyone's working together to try and tackle this hard subject. It's really nice.
Well, again, I have two favorite classes. One is Algebra 2/Trig. What really made that class for me was the subject matter was challenging, yes, but it pushed me. But also, the teacher was beyond, I can't even begin to describe it. He was amazing. He helped me, he was kind, and he was, Mr. Glenn, yeah. He was honestly more like a fun uncle to me than a usual teacher. And then another Chinese is not only a subject that I'm personally interested in and that I want to keep pursuing probably into college to help me succeed in life, but again, the teacher's amazing, always helps me out, and genuinely wants his students to succeed.
My favorite class is probably AP US History with Mr. Glogly because I've never learned so much each day, like just knowledge-wise in a class like ever. And also he's been really supportive, like I can talk about anything, and he got me into Model at UN, which helped me like get better public speaking skills and just learn more about the world that I wouldn't have known otherwise. So yeah.
My favorite class is definitely AP Government. None of your kids would have Adler because he probably will be retired by then. But he's incredible. Sometimes it feels like we're learning nothing, but then when you walk out of the door, if you really think about it, you actually did learn a lot. We get a lot done, but it's a really fun class, yeah.
I have two as well. One of them is definitely Algebra 2. I was in Sam's class, and what was great about that class is the teacher, Mr. Gwen, he really made it feel like a family, and he encouraged a lot of like collaboration, which made learning more fun, and I'm not even a math person. I've always hated math, but that class made me just really appreciate it, and I felt like I learned so much more than I would have been in an environment where I was like scared to ask questions, because I never felt uncomfortable in that class after like the first week or two. I would also say AP Psychology. I took that last year, and that was just really interesting. The pacing was really good. I felt like I really learned a lot about, how people think, and it kind of made me really realize my interest in it. So I thought that was really cool.
My favorite class is AP Research. I took it last year. And the cool thing about that class is that you get to ask whatever question you want and then just research it for the rest of the year. So my question was about like how luxury fashion is influenced by period films. And like, it was crazy. I got to learn so much about the industry, so much that like I'm actually interested in doing in college and in a career. And also going through other people's projects and having to constantly peer review over and over again different people's stuff. I learned about like music theory and cognitive dissonance and parenting styles. Like, it's like you learn so much in just a year about all these different things that you couldn't learn in any other classes. So yeah, it's really cool.
I think I have two favorite classes. First is computer science, because I'm just really passionate about computer science and I want to major in that in college. But also jazz, because it's just a lot of fun, and it's not like a class really. Like, I don't feel like I'm like being forced to go, and when I go, I learn a lot of stuff, but it's all just really fun.
I also have two as well. Last year, in my junior year, I took forensic science with Mr. McGrath. It is really like informative, and like I kind of also considered like maybe wanting to go in like the criminal justice system, because like the classwork that he gives is like really engaging with us, while like the homework, like you barely get any homework, so I mean that's always a problem. And then my other class was finance with Mr. Adler, and I mean, yeah, once again, you guys probably won't have him, since like, he's probably gonna retire this year, next year, yeah. But like, he does a good job at like, kind of like he said, you kind of seem like you're not learning anything, but when you think about it, like, you're like, oh yeah, I just learned like so much, and like, you can actually like, use it for the real world.
Just really quickly, can you guys just shout out on the average of how many hours of homework you have every night? Because I bet all the 8th graders would like to know that. 2, I see 2, 3, 2, 3. So anywhere between 3 and 2, and that's your whole panel from PACE and CIC, so that gives you a good idea. So if anybody walked in tonight thinking, oh, PACE has 16 hours of homework, that's not true. If anyone walked in tonight thinking CIC has 0 hours of homework, that's not true. So we want to dispel that myth. Thank you, guys. Next question.
Okay, so I heard a few of you bring up theater, jazz, music, and we know from looking at your bios that you guys are all involved in a whole bunch of stuff. Another myth that you hear about PACE and CIC is that kids are just studying all the time and have no time to get involved in music or sports or anything like that. And the truth, the reality is that most PACE and CIC kids are involved in something, whether it's orchestra or a jazz band or sport or theater. So, or a club, and actually several charter their own clubs and come up with their own kind of community that way too, which is very cool. So what I wanted you guys all to tell me about is your favorite extracurriculars, whether that's sports, music, clubs, any clubs maybe you started or that you're an officer in, that you're really involved in, and just tell us a little bit about it.
My favorite extracurricular activity would have to be choir. I've been in choir all 4 years now, and through choir I've met like so many people, so many amazing people, and I've got new friends. And for some reason, I like meet new people every year in choir, and it's like so fun because I love music, and it's like really rewarding.
I do have to say I love my sport. Running cross country, I just met so many people, and track. I do chamber orchestra for Poly, and that's great too. So yeah.
My favorite extracurricular is definitely jazz. I think that just the program we have at Poly is really strong, and the kids in it are amazing. They're all so dedicated. They all love it. And you just meet a lot of cool people, and really, what you do in jazz you really can't do in any other class in high school.
I am the president of our school's film club, and I am also in theater, and theater is probably my favorite extracurricular. I pour all of my time into it. I'm on the improv team, I'm in the musical, I'm like in all the regular productions, and I just love how you have like all these people dedicated to making something happen, and like how all this collaboration comes out of it, and you get this piece of art that is just magnificent and so fun, and the whole school gets to watch, and it's really fun when they're like, hey, good job on the show last night, and you're just like proud of that 3 months of work. It's really cool.
I'm a competitive swimmer, so swimming is probably my favorite extracurricular activity, and I feel like what's really allowed me to pursue and grow in the sport is the flexibility that CIC has.
I play club and varsity volleyball. I'm also in, as I stated before, in Mall UN, and I also do pickleball too. I'm a club officer for the Poly Pickleball Club.
My favorite extracurricular is definitely golf. I like just the idea of even being in the classroom for 6 hours, but then going to spend mandated time outside. Well, sometimes it seems tedious. It's, I think, more rewarding than it seems just to go back inside and do homework or whatever that might be.
My favorite extracurricular is definitely Symphonic Winds, which is a 0 period. That means we have to get there a little bit earlier, but it's so worth it. Poly really does have an amazing music program. We have great teachers. There's Mr. Stevens and Mr. Terrell. I have Mr. Terrell, and it's just really awesome. You can tell everyone's really dedicated to what they're doing. And when you become a part of something bigger than you and create something like really beautiful like music, it's just really inspiring to know that all of your peers are so passionate about it.
Okay, I'm the operations director for our school's robotics team, and I think I came to robotics at a really weird time in my life where I had to quit my sport, and so I was like, well, I have like nothing to do. So I poured myself into this thing, and since then I think I've spent probably 20 hours a week just doing robotics stuff during and outside of meetings, but I feel like I'm doing something that's important, and so I think that's the best part of being a part of that team.
I'm the captain of the robotics team and basically have the same response as her. I think that robotics is fun because you come together with a bunch of other kids and you actually get to build something and learn how it works. And I think it's way more fun to learn when you can actually point to something and look at it and explain what it does.
I like doing volunteer work at the YMCA. I give out produce or basically whatever help they need for me, and it's it's fun to see making people's day or just, you know, helping out the community.
The concert, it was incredible. These kids really work hard and produce something pretty amazing. And also, you can go onto their website. You can learn a lot more about them. Robotics has maybe the best website I've ever seen from kids. I'm not kidding. It's so good. You can go on and learn so much. Because they actually build a robot that shoots baskets. I don't know what you're doing this year, but last year it was something like that, right? It was amazing. There are all of these different activities that folks are mentioning. A lot of them have Instagram accounts, and also some of them have websites that are, like I said, seem professional, like the robotics one. So if you're interested in any of those things, you can learn a lot more about them just with a quick Google search. Okay, so folks, we're going to move on to your questions because there's a lot. And there are a few repeats here, and I'm going to start off with the ones that I can answer and that they probably can't. Okay, okay, where was it? Sorry. Okay, so this question, okay, so somebody is well informed here, said, how will the upcoming campus construction affect the PACE and CIC programs? So for those of you who don't know, there is going to be a major improvement project for the Poly campus. I know, look at them all nod. They're like, what? I'm not going to get to it. And yeah, I mean, the campus is aging. It does need improvements. It's going to get those. But just like I'm sure some of you have been through these similar improvement projects, or they put in, I think, air conditioning in some of the middle schools and the elementary schools around. You know, the teachers and the administration just do the best that they can to make sure that things don't get disrupted. You know, when my daughter was moved around, I remember that she got all the same classes. It was a little bit different. It's not perfect, but they'll do whatever they can, and they'll have a lot of time to plan. So the programs will run the same. They just there might be a few little, you know, just a few things that little hiccups. But I'll tell you that the PACE teachers and the CIC teachers are really good at navigating hiccups. And I'm sure they'll do just fine. Yes?
So a new building will be constructed first, and then that will allow for the students to stay on campus while the remaining construction upgrades happen. So students will not be moved to another campus like has happened at others. And I think that's a big concern for those of you who went to Longfellow and Hughes. So yeah, a new building will be constructed, and that will allow for the rotation of students as other buildings and so forth are being upgraded.
Thank you. That's the answer we needed. Okay, so we just heard it's not going to start until 2028. Okay, great. Thank you. Okay.
Be retired.
Okay, so guys,
and you meet so many different kinds of people when you go to Poly, and it's really easy to make friends. So yeah, you have people going in, but you also get to meet a lot of cool people.
Yeah, and I'm still friends with a lot of people from middle school, but I've made so many new friends at Poly that I don't feel like if I lost all those friends, I wouldn't have been sad. But, you know.
I went to Rogers, so a bulk of my graduating class from Rogers went to Wilson, and I'm still in contact with a lot of people there, but at the same time, the beauty about Poly is you all grow really close. So a lot of people that I went to middle school with who now go to Poly, I wasn't particularly close with them in middle school. I knew who they were. One girl, we had the same English class in 8th grade. I didn't even know who she is. And now we're partners in Chinese class. So it's really nice. It serves as kind of a bridge between different people who you typically want to get to be friends with.
I went to Hughes, so there was already a lot of people that went from Hughes to Poly, so it wasn't super hard to recognize people and make friends. But I don't also think it's super correlative. A lot of my friends I'm close with now didn't go there, and it's it's not more dependent on it's less dependent on where you went to middle school, and it's just more about like who you're surrounding, like your classes and stuff like that.
And, no, does anybody else want to respond?
Robin. I think, as far as I know, an experience very unique to Poly is Poly North. How many of our panelists went to Poly North?
We had
you
COVID,
speak a little bit and share what that was like and why that was so special.
Okay, I went to Poly North and it was really awesome. I was like really scared at first because going into it, my friends in ASB were just like, no, it's just like a camp and we're all gonna be in the same group and we're just gonna like make s'mores and make campfires. No, they put you in a totally random group. You do not get to choose. And they put you in a random bunk. You don't even know the person you're like sleeping below. But it's honestly such a good experience because everyone's just happy to be there and everyone's in the same position where they didn't get to choose who they're with, and you kind of, it's just a really great opportunity to meet friends and talk to people you typically wouldn't, because a lot of another stereotype about Poly is that there's like different groups of people, like depending on like where you sit at lunch, and that kind of just like totally like tears that down and brings everyone together. And I feel like I totally came out of Poly North as just like, I don't know, I'm just really, really grateful for that experience, like to this day.
Sarah, can you explain what part of Poly North is for?
Oh yeah, totally. You go up to Big Bear. Where even is it? Like Big Bear. It's like Big Bear, like Arrowhead, like that area. And you go to this camp, and you're put in these. It's just like you all go up on a bus. You get a card, and it tells you like what your cabin name is, and then you meet up with everybody. And throughout the day, you do different activities like games, bonding things. At night, you all go back to your cabin. You have cabin talks where they kind of like give you a random topic and it just sparks a conversation and everyone just like gets to share what they think. And yeah, we also had like watched movies, like made s'mores. It was just everything like fun about camp, plus hanging out with your friends and meeting a lot of new people. It was really a great experience.
And you go as sophomores, right?
Yeah.
With senior. Do you guys want to say something about it? Okay, really quick.
So Poly North is really cool. It's really just this experience where you go, you meet these random people, and you have this like life-changing 50 hours. Like you're there for like 50 hours, and you're doing stuff constantly. You maybe get a total of like 8 hours of sleep, and like it really kind of, it changes you as a person. It feels cliche to say that, but like the people you meet there, like you will be friends with for a while. I walked out with a whole new group of friends, and it's like this big group therapy session almost, but it's not scary like therapy is. It was wonderful, and I recommend it to everyone, even if you're scared of going.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but if you don't get to go to Poly North sophomore year, I think you have an opportunity to be a counselor senior year. So, yeah, I feel like it's also fun. Well, first.
That was a one-time.
Okay, you guys, we're gonna wrap this up. First, I wanted to thank the Expo Center for hosting us. Also, Devin Chanel for where's Devin? There you are. For setting all of this up. All of the great parent volunteers who brought all the flyers and the food and everything and set everything up. But most important, the students. Because you guys might not know this, but they have finals next week. And they took this hour or two out of their night to come talk to you and share their love of Poly, which is what I'm gonna wrap this up with. I know a lot about Poly Pride because my grandma went to Poly before it was Poly. My parents also went there. So my parents can still sing the fight song. And they often do when they see my daughter, and she cringes and smiles like a good kid. But it is real, and Poly is a really special place, and that's what I wanted to end with. Would you guys give me maybe one or two words, a sentence at the most, about what you think makes Poly High School a special place to be?
Like you said, there's a lot of school pride, and I think you definitely have to go to a football game because like that basically sums up like our whole pride, like the band, like the players, the cheerleaders, like, and like the people, like we're all just cheering for like our school, and like I guess like we also overwhelm like the other schools going against us, because like they usually just get like destroyed by Poly almost all the time. So yeah.
I like Poly because my friends go there.
I think I built a lot of really cool relationships that'll last a long time at Poly.
I would say the community just really makes Poly different from any other school.
The people.
It's the home of scholars and champions. Excuse the corniness. Everyone's really dedicated to succeed, and not only helping themselves succeed, helping you succeed, and it's all one big community. We're all in this together.
One of my teachers once told me, the more you put into high school, the more you get out of it. And I feel like everyone at Poly really puts the most into high school.
I just think that the different kinds of people that you meet, people of different backgrounds, people of different personalities, it's really helpful to be able to be around so many different kinds of people.
Yeah, I'd agree. The people, the community, and the pride.
Again, the people, the pride, and like the diversity, it's really great, and I love Poly, so.
Okay.